YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I gotta record from my end. What is this? Oh. Is that my motto or hello?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear that? Is that me or is that something else?
No, I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, it's just me then. Excuse me. Um, Playback here, general. Where's the motto at? It's usually either like stereo or mono, but whatever. Oh, there it is. It's been a while since I set a podcast up. Race 1 Iowa 2023. Yeah, what was this again? The high V250?
It was the one we had today was the Hy-Vee Homefront 250.
Thank you. Thank you for the info. Okay. Toast. Say toast.
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 Toast. Okay. Our wavelengths are identical. Ish. They're identical enough.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me bring up that. Let me give me 1 second while if you want to bring up Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to see the stream, see if anybody's in there asking anything, it's up to you. It's Facebook, the fan page for the show, and then the other Facebook one is it May yet, which is a sub fan page of a fan page. I don't know why I made that. I need to change it actually. And then YouTube is the same, and then Twitch I'm sure is the same. I don't know. I've never used it. I've never gone on it to watch it. And then Twitter is ICP podcast. So I was going to make some windows here. So if anybody's signed on yet and they're just listening to us, this is our pre-recording of our actual show. And if you want to ask any questions about today's race in Iowa or anything prior to that you feel like talking about, then don't hesitate to ask. We'll probably get to you. I mean, as long as Jared feels like it.
Yeah, till I fall asleep.
I've been up since Thursday morning.
Okay, it's a while.
Yeah, but it's my own problem. What's my own fault? I mean, okay, so let's see. All right, there's that. All right, I can pin it up. Pin to profile. Okay. And then we got Twitch. Somehow I can get on that. I think I probably won't. We'll just do that on Facebook. If there's somebody in Twitch and you want to ask something, go on Twitter or Facebook. I will tell you. I'm not going on Twitch. Jared might. He can be our Twitch guy.
No.
He's like, no, I'm good.
No, I'm twitching.
Oh, are you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Are there people in there?
No, I was just actually twitching.
I wasn't watching. Sorry, I'm on Facebook like an asshole. Dumbass. I'm a dumbass. Look at me. Okay, share to a page. Yeah. No. No. Not now. I'll find share it. Alright. Yeah, leave page. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. My bad, no. I don't want to be in here. I'm just not used to Facebook anymore. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, there we go. There it is. Finally. Took way too long. Yeah, okay. Share to sure. Why not? And we have to get that on too. Let's see. Alright, give me 1 second here. What was again the high V what 250?
Hy-Vee Homefront 250.
That's right. There it is. Okay. All right, and um, Iowa Hoodie weekend. All right. Series and I seem to remember Iowa having its own raceway Twitter. Am I crazy?
Yeah, like Iowa Speedway.
So I thought it was.
Is that not it?
I don't see it anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay, I knew I've seen it. Okay, tweet, and that's the best that's going to get. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, where is it? All right, so yep, I'm recording. So I guess let's start. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go 3, 2, 1, and you clap. Okay.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ISCP fans, to yet another episode of the Indie Sports Car Podcast. What's up, Jared?
A whole lot. Had a good race today.
Indeed, and I know we haven't done a podcast since I think before Indy. So the race we're talking about is Iowa race number 1 on this Saturday edition.
Late night Saturday edition.
But the 3 p.m. late night? Well, Okay, you mean our late night?
It's late night for me.
Well, I had a side job all day, and I didn't get to watch the race until I got home. It was a bits and pieces because, you know, anyway. So I finally got to finish it, and I, I mean, I have thoughts. I have thoughts. At any rate, if somebody didn't watch race one, but they're about to watch race two, and they're listening to this before tomorrow's race, Jared, do you want to run down, I guess, who qualified for this race in what order?
Yeah, 28 cars qualified for the Hy-V Homefront 250. And well, I mean, not to spoil, but we have the same pole setter for both races. Happens to be the same pole setter as both races last year, Mr. Will Power. Got himself his 69th and 70th career poles uh, by putting in just
Well,
an
no, no.
absolutely unreal speeds between both laps.
He put down his 70th and 71st.
Okay, my bad, my bad. I forgot this is a point of contention. 70th and 71st poles. Still number one of all time. Greater than Mario, greater than everybody in terms
So
of qualifying.
so pole 70 and then pole 71 asterisk. Asterisk.
Yes, something like that. But just the way that he qualified, the speed that he showed compared to everybody else. I mean, he put up over a full mile an hour
That was
above the second place cars in both races. In fact, the second race was almost 2 miles an hour.
Am I crazy? Because I
It's
was looking at it, it looked like 3.9 miles per hour faster than P2.
I mean, there was at one point it was that far.
I think it
And
was after
then
the first qualifying.
well, yeah, so the first race, Willpower 181.426 miles an hour. Second place, Scott McLaughlin 180.334. New Garden 180.081. And then the fall off for Dixon 178.710. So I mean, right
That's
there,
what
that's
I, okay. That's
yeah.
yeah. When
From
I was
first
when I
to
was looking
fifth
at it,
was
yeah,
3 miles an hour.
yeah, yeah.
And by time, it's about a quarter second. Not even 3/10 of a second between
It's
first and fifth, but that's 3 miles an hour.
I mean, it's less than the length of your of a person making like fingertip to fingertip.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's the difference was just less than a tenth of a second between first and second. But that's over a mile an hour
And we all know
at
that when it
7/8.
becomes that close, you know Willie P is going to edge out every time.
Well, yeah, he did it last year, and it's just a qualifying format where you have the first race, the first lap of your two is the first race, and then the second lap is the second race. So there was a lot of drivers who had like a first lap, and then the second lap went faster. There's a number of drivers whose first or second lap was slower than the first, and then some who were pretty consistent within a tenth of a second or a tenth of a mile an
Well,
hour. Like it was some really close, some very
what the
consistent
hell?
driving.
Sorry about that. Yeah, they're all right. I think is this no, that's not them. Sorry. I thought Motorsport had up the differentials of lap one, lap two in qualifying. Come on, Mulcher. You are lunching on me here, son. You think you'd have it. My bad. So yeah, keep going there, Jared. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought I had
No, I
something
mean
to contribute,
it was
but I did
just
not.
very impressive what Will was able to do. I just wish he could have held it during the race for more than just the first half. I don't know.
Oh, and before we get too far into IndyCar, I just want to end out of willpower. I just want to shout out that other news that dropped, I believe, today, about 3 hours ago. Willpower has put his hand up to drive an IndyCar around Mount Panorama during the Bathurst International later this year. So that's cool.
Like
I
a
do.
two-seater or the actual like full car.
I don't know, but I do believe it is what Justin Wilson had planned on doing at one point before or at the end of the year, a few years back. Remember that? Wasn't
Yeah,
Justin Wilson supposed to do the same thing?
yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
would be
pretty sure. I remember him talking about it anyway. Maybe it wasn't set in stone, but I do remember Justin Wilson talking about at the end of that year doing the Mount Panorama in an IndyCar.
okay. So they're gonna do an open wheel cavalcade.
What
Um,
what is
there
that?
at
Up like
Bathurst.
is that up and back or is that
It's a demonstration class, so there's going to be 10 high-powered seaters, and there'll be 6 20-minute demos across the weekend.
oh
So
so
it sounds like there'll be
time
Formula
trial.
One, IndyCar, S5000s, all sorts of different
Maybe
yeah,
some of
open wheels. Yeah. So
like the Asian formula, the Formula Asian or whatever. I think they're like equal to F2s.
yeah, Will wants to take his own car.
Does he really?
And his
What? Wait,
he
what
wants to take his
new
own
car?
Indy car. His own Indy car.
Well, what
He
is
made
it?
it pretty clear that should any IndyCar driver take part in it, it should be him and not McLaughlin or Dixon. Said, I'm the only Australian in this series, so I'll be really disappointed if they send a Kiwi.
Yeah, not only how crazy is it that two of the best drivers in the series come from an island that is barely sporting like close like almost a million people. I mean, the there's something wrong with these percentages.
Yeah, from what I'm reading here on motorsport.com, it sounds like the call it for like the Team Penske cars, but they want modern but not current open wheel cars. So I guess there was a Aussie based 2011
It's not,
IR07.
I was gonna say they're gonna have to go back what a decade.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and get an older car. So you're not gonna get a new open wheel like a new IndyCar or Formula One, but I
One of
mean
the spots,
something out
yeah,
there would be pretty sweet.
one of the sponsorships on the side will be Izod.
Mm-hmm. Good old Izod.
Hey, maybe Danica can go drive her blue car up the mountain.
I'm good on that one.
Just saying. She probably still has it
I
too.
I've been watching the Tour de France, like the whole Tour de France. So like I've seen some good
You've been
racing.
you've been watching men in tights um, ride ride bicycles through the French countryside, have you?
Yes. Viva les Tour.
Ah, vive les lame. Okay,
I've been
so
hanging out with Simon Pagenaud. He hasn't had much else to do last few weeks.
what he's been competing in the Tour de France?
No, he's been watching it because
Uh,
he can't race.
oh, you've been going over there and making popcorn for him since he can't get up too much.
Yeah,
It's good. Your Pagano's popcorn bitch. How's that make you feel?
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse things to be, I guess. All right, so but aside from that detour, I'm sorry I made. Yeah, Will's gonna do maybe. We'll see. I hope he does. Let's. You want to talk a little bit about Indy next before we get into the main race here because they were looking good, man. They were looking fast.
Yeah, there's a 16 car field for the Indy NXT race at Iowa Speedway. That one actually, they had to run it later because their time got taken up by delayed IndyCar qualifying due to rain this morning.
And it was pouring out too. It didn't look like it was going to stop. I was
Yeah,
wa- I was watching it, watching Jackson. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So I watched the practice. I think the day before, and they were looking pretty fast, man. So anyway, what happened after they did get going?
I mean, they ended up racing their 75 laps. It was much shorter race than the IndyCar one, but Christian Rasmussen was able to take away victory. Led 74 of the 75 laps. Second place, Jacob Abel, only down by 12 100ths of a second. So very close finish there. And then Rasmus Lindh, Matty Brabham, and Hunter McElroy, the 5 cars on the lead lap to finish the race.
Yeah, man. Hunter, I had higher hopes for Hunter, man. I don't think he's going to make it. Do you think? Do you?
No, he's 4th in the championship, 235 points. He's not that far out. I mean, Christian Rasmussen leading 281 points, 259 for Nolan Siegel, who finished 15th after crashing on lap 63. Yeah, then 238, Jacob Abel in 3rd. So yeah, I mean it's possible. Yeah, I wouldn't count Hunter out yet, but he's gonna have to have some pretty good results here to finish up the season, and then hope for some bad luck on some of the other championship contenders in order for him to have any real shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like, even like a Malukas type of situation where Malukas didn't win a championship, but he still got his chance in IndyCar, and he's still here 2 years later.
Right.
I just don't see Hunter getting that chance if he doesn't win. I don't know. I mean, do you see the talent there that says he should come to IndyCar no matter what the championship says?
I mean, it's a maybe. I look at guys like Stingray Robb, who has, I mean, where's he gonna go? There's not many places for him to go, and where would you want him to go if he did make it? I don't foresee him going to a
Who,
big 3
McElroy, you
team,
mean?
even a big He's not gonna go to even one of the big 4 teams.
I
He'll be
mean,
lucky to get a coin
Coin.
ride.
Yeah, Coin maybe because Malukas is not going to be with Coin next year.
No, I'm willing to bet he's going to be going to Andretti, with the rumor that like Andretti's basically kicking out DeFrancesco, taking less of like a pay driver and more of like a real like a paid driver. So I could totally see David Malukas ending up in the 29 car at Andretti next year.
Yeah, but what about Grosjean? I think Grosjean might be leaving Andretti next year as well.
Well, I mean,
Where would
that's
he go?
fine.
Would he go anywhere? I'm sure somebody would scoop him up. Maybe Shank,
It's possible.
because this has to be Cashnero's last year. Has to be. If not him and Pagano.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we all of a sudden have um, why can't I think, Cal Milot's team. Why can't I think of it all of a sudden?
Juncos?
Yunkos, we now have 2 full-time Yunkos, maybe 3 next year, who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, even dude, Aaron McLaren might have 4 next year.
Yeah, but
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
yeah.
It's too much to talk about. Let's get into race 1 and set people up at race 2 tomorrow, and we'll get out of here and we'll talk more about all this kind of stuff in the next show after race 2 happens tomorrow.
Well, yeah. So in the Hy-Vee Homefront 250 IndyCar at Iowa Speedway, race 1, big shocker. Joseph Newgarden, King of Iowa, won it again. Yeah.
Get right out of town.
Yeah, he kind of put a spanking on everybody. He sat back for the first half of the race and then just kicked it right in, right about.
I think it's a conspiracy by Big Pharma.
Big Penske, yeah.
No, it's Big Pharma. Have you been out there lately? There's a lot of farms out there, man.
Oh, Big Farm.
Big Pharma. His last name's New Garden, a new garden,
Yeah.
I mean, you can grow corn in a garden, and Big Pharma grows a shit ton of it. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's conspiracy.
That's true. And so how about, what do you think about Jack Harvey getting the 9 grid spot penalty for the first race for the avoidable contact at the beginning of Toronto?
I mean, I don't know. 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 I mean that was the 3 cars, right, that took out,
Yeah,
um
it was the big
took out
accident right at the beginning, the first lap, first corner, but
wait,
I
Harvey
don't
got it?
yeah, Harvey got it.
You mean the
Harvey was
one
on
you mean the
he
one
was the one that
all
apparently
the way to the
started it.
outside who couldn't go anywhere even if he
Right,
wanted
he
to?
he wiggled on the inside of 3 wide and then made contact.
No, Harvey was the outside car.
No, he was the inside car. They showed the replay. He was the inside
I
car.
I could have sworn he was the outside.
Nope, he was the one that wiggled and
Oh, you
drifted
know what?
towards the outside and then caused the
You're right.
whole thing.
I'm I I'm
But
I'm sorry, the outside car was that new guy who was taking over.
yeah, Tom Blomqvist.
Yeah, him. He's so new I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, I know, except other than all of his IMSA accomplishments.
Yeah, because I've been following him so closely the last I forget when.
Yeah,
S
it's true.
Since they got rid of GT.
Yeah,
Like,
the thing I get the last time a driver was punished in the following race for something that happened in the previous race
it's been a while.
was Delvin DeFrancesco at Texas last year.
Okay, it hasn't been that long.
But that was
But
it
Devlin
very
DeFrancesco,
much warranted.
and plus
He was out of
that
control for that
yeah,
entire race, took out multiple cars,
this was
and
Harvey's first
this is just we get lap 1, turn 1 incidents all the time,
all the time.
and I don't I've never seen like
Harvey
this.
shouldn't have got it. Harvey shouldn't have got it.
Yeah,
This was
it
the
seemed
fact
very
that I
Hinch, all the commentators thought it was weird, everybody thought it was weird, and then I don't
dude,
understand. Is this Kyle Novak, like, kinda making a statement? I don't understand where any of this
well,
comes from.
if I remember correctly, Devlin got his suspension after multiple warnings prior to that because he just kept, taking people out race after race and nothing happening to him. That was the third race in a row where he caused something, and
Right.
he finally got reprimanded the very next race. Harvey does nothing but one thing, and all of a sudden he gets thrown to the coals for it.
Yeah, it was, I don't understand why they just why they needed to do that.
You're probably right. I mean, you're probably right. For somebody to justify their job and to set a precedent, maybe throw it out there. We're not going to tolerate any tomfoolery from any of you, um, lollygaggers. So mind your P's and Q's, maybe. I mean, that could have been his message in a
Yeah,
roundabout.
but there was no statement, like, let out by saying, "Hey, we punished this because this happened," like, he was out of control, or there was nothing. It was just, "Hey, he was punished for avoidable contact. We have the right to do this because of whatever, because of the rules."
They had the entire race of no wait, he was out, right? Like
Yeah.
Harvey didn't race again after that, right? This is his first time back in a car, isn't it?
For who, Harvey?
Yeah. Did Harvey finish Toronto?
No, he got knocked out of the race, and they said that they applied the penalty because they couldn't penalize him during the Toronto race
So
because he
now I
got
can
knocked out.
understand. But 9 laps? How
Or
many
9 positions, yeah.
9 positions. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
9 grid positions off the on after qualifying.
I mean, you probably lose that many for a stop and go anyway, on average. So they probably did it that way. And you can't penalize a guy if he's not racing in the race where he made the penalty. I get it. It makes sense. But he should have got a warning or something. Because I'm just saying it wasn't that blatant. It was hard racing into turn one after the green flag flies. What do you want? You know?
Yeah, and it's a street circuit.
Exactly. There's no runoff. I
Yeah.
mean, and everybody like, can we just back up real quick? Can we choke back the love for Graham Rahal being able to throw his bitch ass car into reverse? I'm it wasn't amazing. not for nothing, he almost reversed into a pickup truck. Did anybody miss that part? I mean, just saying, people need to
Yeah.
calm down about Graham's amazing talent and foresight to throw that bitch in reverse and go around like a trivial ass like as opposed to what throwing it into first and ramming into the people in front of him. What's he gonna do? I'm
Yeah.
just
I mean, it was,
Am I the only one that thought it was a bit overblown what he did?
yeah. I mean, it wasn't.
By the way, what happened to Graham in Iowa? Why was he the only one out by the end of this race?
Same thing as this race where he was the only one out of it as well.
In other words, you don't know why.
I don't remember.
Fair enough. That's fine. Because I'm trying to find it, and there's just not even a story about it. Come on, Malsher, you're killing me. Get on your game, Malsher. Your keyboard, you can type up 15 stories in 5 minutes on that thing.
I mean, Graham finished Toronto, finished 9th.
No, I'm talking about Iowa.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, he can't hold that car up against on the track. Him and Will were the only two cars that made any sort of contact with the wall.
Is that what put Will in the fifth?
Yeah, I mean, Will like brushed the wall,
Right.
didn't bring out a caution, but he clearly brushed the wall
But he
and
saved it?
kept going. But yeah, he was able to keep going. It didn't do a ton of damage, or might not even done any damage. But I know from the replays, he clearly hit the wall. And they didn't throw the caution, which I thought was weird. I thought anybody touches the wall, it's an immediate caution.
Not all the time. I think it depends how severe. Or maybe they didn't even catch it right away.
Yeah. And all I know is Graham like spun out and hit the wall and like
Wait,
ended up in the infield in the blue grass.
okay. Motorsport, what are you doing? You don't even have this updated yet. I'm sorry. But yeah, um, so you're saying that they should have threw the yellow, even though
No, I'm not saying he should have thrown the yellow. It was just kind of weird that he did hit the wall. And normally, anytime, like I've seen cars hit the wall and keep going, and they still throw the caution just because they're afraid that something's broken on the car. Because usually, you hit the wall at that high speed, you're going to break something.
right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Newgarden. He didn't have much contact last time, and it just destroyed his car, or it eventually broke down. Or no, it says Graham Rahal contact. So he must have hit it a lot harder.
Yeah, Graham hit it and hit the wall and spun
Did he bring up
and
the
then stopped in the infield.
So he brought the caution.
Yeah, Graham totally brought a caution because he actually hit the wall and then spun it down into the track, into the middle. Whereas Will just brushed the wall and kept going.
And finished fifth, so it must not have been that big of a deal.
I mean, he lost a ton of time when he hit it. Like he dropped multiple positions, but he was barely able to hang on to the lead lap. I mean, Newgarden could have lapped him if he wanted to, but at that point, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it didn't look like Newgarden was trying to force any issues towards the end there. He was just trying.
No, he was basically just on cruise control because he's Newgarden at Iowa.
Yep. 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 Where the hell does it say how many laps they were down? Oh, there it is. So basically, the top five were on the lead lap. When's the last time you've seen a race like this where the top five are on the lead lap and everybody else is a lap down? It's rare.
I mean, it was weird because I've seen Iowa, like they said in years past, it takes like 30 laps to catch up to the back end of the field. It took 17.
Yeah.
The first car went a lap down 17 laps into the race. That's ridiculous.
I mean, nothing for nothing, dude. Watching Will go around the track in like the first 100 or so laps, man.
Oh yeah.
That car
And
was
it's so
dialed.
weird because he had the car he qualified with that was so fast, looked so fast in the first 100 laps, and then just started getting slower and slower as the race went on. I don't understand why.
Well, didn't he crash the qualifying car in practice?
No.
I thought he did.
Or maybe he had something in practice.
I'm pretty sure he messed up the
But
qualifying.
then he goes and puts out 181-mile-an-hour laps.
Yeah, like he was destroying it. Like, they put the same setup on, and he just had that thing dialed in, man. He couldn't get any closer to the white line and be pulling flat out corners, man. But then, halfway through the race, it just, I don't know, maybe, I mean, sometimes Will does get inside his head and start telling his engineers he wants a little bit this way or that way, and then overcorrects and screws himself. He's done that enough times. I mean, it's great now, but I can make it even better. Oh, oops. But what is Joseph Newgarden doing that nobody else is? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know how he
It's
how he
starting to
got
get weird, dude.
so good at Iowa.
Yeah, it's good. It's weird. Like, yo, you know what? I just drove on a short oval one time and I just loved it. And so did 1,000 other people. It doesn't make them, you know, I mean, the guy that can't be beat on a certain track in a series to where this shouldn't even be an issue. And it never is.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to stay tuned and watch tomorrow because they do it all again.
That's true. It's true. And also, it's good to see Pelot take a hit.
Yeah, I know. Finishing 8th. It's a big hit.
Well, it does bring the second place within, I think, 100 points of him now, which is
Yes, 98 points.
that's nothing if you think about it. That's 2 races where, okay, that's 3 races where, Pelot, something crazy happens and his car just doesn't start every race, and then second place wins every race. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's a lost cause, isn't it? Like, how many races are even left? 2 after Iowa. Was it
4 or 5. Gateway,
Indy GP
Portland, Laguna,
and Indy GP?
and Indy GP and Nashville. So 5.
Wasn't that 6? Or
Please hold.
please hold while we fact check the idiot.
Yes. Nashville, Indy Grand Prix, Gateway, Portland, Laguna. 5 left after tomorrow. So 6. I would say Iowa. One more Iowa, then Nashville, Indy, Gateway, Portland, Laguna.
I got you. All right. Well, not for nothing, but I mean, Pelot could have an awful, last quarter of a season, and he could still lose it. He could still lose it.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask you this one thing that I heard a driver say, and I just want your opinion before we head out of here and say good night to everybody and let everybody know that we'll be back tomorrow to finish up race 2 and to also talk about the other races we haven't been able to touch on. All right, so Ericsson was quoted saying that he fully believes that he deserves to be a paid driver, not a pay to drive driver, because obviously he brings money with him to Ganassi, and he is on Ganassi, so there's that. He does have that.
Well, he's basically jockeying for Pelot's seat because Pelot's going to Formula One next year, probably.
Well, he's going to McLaren next year.
Right. McLaren Formula One.
Yeah, well, unless McLaren adds a fourth car.
Yeah, probably going to Formula One.
And replacing who?
I don't know.
Because both McLaren Formula One drivers have like a 3-year contract, I think.
No, I mean, it's either way, Pelot's not going to be at Ganassi after this year. It was his 3rd-year option that got all the court fun stuff.
Oh.
And we know he's not going. He's not staying. So he's going to get that 10 seat, like the actual paid ride. And so it sounds like Ericsson is jockeying for the 10 ride.
Now, I did hear this, and tell me if this isn't crazy sounding. Ericsson for Will Power at Penske. You think Will is over? You think his star is faded enough for Penske to dump him? Because let's face it. Because let's face it, Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin, they're 10 years younger than him. They're arguably just as talented, right? And they have staying power for the next decade. Will doesn't. So, but he's still, one of the goats of the series. So what do? Do you just keep that seat open for a guy that has brought you how much success over the last 15 plus years and show a little bit of loyalty? Or do you just be like, listen, man, it just doesn't look like you're going to be bringing us in the amount of coin we want in another 4 years from now. So we're going to let you go now ahead of time. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what they would be doing. With Ericsson. They would be telling Will, we know you have another good 2-3 years, tops, maybe even 4. They're just not going to be with us because I want Ericsson in there who is going to have a really good next 10. And I know it's a business. And it might, but I don't think it makes sense because that's a lot of money to be paying to 3 drivers for that long of a commitment. Will's almost saving you money by not needing that long of one.
Right.
But anyway, it was fun to ponder where Ericsson might end up if it's not Pelot's seat, then where?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good silly season.
And that's why I'm saying Andretti.
It's possible.
Grosjean seat, because Grosjean sure as shit has not earned it.
No, Grosjean doesn't deserve anything.
No, Grosjean deserves to go back to Dale Coyne or who knows, maybe AJ Foyt, maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
There's plenty of teams back there that would kill to have a name like him to make them money, but not really win them anything.
Yep.
Because his name does bring in dollar signs of just sheer recognition. I think, well, I mean, the guy did survive a fireball, so
Yeah.
There is always that. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to say about this race number 1 before we put it to bed? It seemed like it was a pretty uneventful race that was as predictable as they come.
I forgot Iowa can produce some snoozers, which this one kind of was. Hopefully tomorrow. I mean, with the doubleheader, everybody tries to take it easy for the first race because they don't want to have to rebuild the car overnight for the second race. So I feel like usually the second race tends to be more eventful. I think everybody was just enamored by Carrie Underwood.
Who?
Carrie Underwood, musician. Her and they're like all the big concerts. I mean, they got Ed Sheeran tomorrow.
Well, wait, what what animal they're shearing? What?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on.
Dude, that good is very that dude Ed Sheeran is talented as fuck, dude. I gotta admit it.
Yeah, he
I don't like his songs, don't get me wrong, but I do respect what he can do musically.
right.
Even though I don't like the songs that he makes, but it's pretty amazing when he can play pretty much anything you say and it sounds pitch perfect. And he's playing the guitar along with it does take a lot of talent to do.
Yep. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right, buddy. And all right, so until tomorrow, real quick prediction on who wins race 2, Jared.
I'm gonna take the fields. Basically, New Garden versus a field, and I'm probably just gonna take the field and hope that works out.
So you're going +2 on everybody else that's not named Justin Newgarden.
Correct.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
At least that's just what I'm hoping for. I feel like it's gonna be Joseph Newgarden again, but I'm hoping that it's somebody else.
Well, I'm going to say that the pole sitter leads every lap this race, no flaws, no fuck ups, and brings home a P1 at the end of it all, and finally cements that win for 17 straight career seasons at Iowa. Willpower. Just say, man, can you imagine if he doesn't win this year? He'll break a 16-year record. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And people are thinking about Penske getting rid of him. For why? People need to shut up. What has Ericsson been doing? So what? He won an Indy 500. So big deal.
Right.
Big deal. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yep. Till tomorrow, there, Jared.
All right.
And to everybody else out there, hope you enjoyed the race, and I hope you enjoy the race tomorrow as well. So
yeah, 2:00 Eastern on NBC.
Thank you, Jared. I'm also on Peacock. If you're not home, it's worth this. It's the only streaming service that's worth the money. Trust
Oh yes, all the sports. So I've been watching Tour de France, all the Indycar, IMSA, if that's your thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. So right on. We really need to come up with a new way to end this podcast because after Missy isn't here,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do anymore. But
no. Just say goodnight, everybody.
Nah, it's cliche.
I am cliche.
So until we meet again, until we talk again, race fans, don't let your meatloaf.
Yeah. Yep.
This is dumb, I know. You ain't gotta tell me, I know. It's extremely stupid.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to bed. Oh, it's like 11:30. Oh crap.
Where the hell is StreamYard at?
Oh wait, we're still alive.
Not anymore.